All right, let's start it off on the phone lines. Let's go to Thomas. Thomas, you open it up here tonight.
Good evening, sir. I appreciate you taking my call.
Hey, anytime. Thank you, Thomas.
So, I know we were talking. I'm Third Coast Tom, RG Chav on Twitter. We were talking earlier.
Oh, yeah,
talking about the
RG
Dynamo.
Chav.
I'd love to continue the conversation. You told me to call the show.
I absolutely did, and I'm very glad you did. So talk to me. You cut out, Thomas. Say it again.
I said I'd love to continue the conversation we had earlier.
All right, so let's continue it. So my statement is that the Houston Dynamo are not getting it done. So let me just give you my narrative of it, and then you take it, because it's a lot easier than doing it through text, Thomas. So I appreciate you very much calling in, and that's why this is a radio show for platforms with people like yourself, who, by the way, I appreciate your opinion. Okay, so it's pretty clear the Dynamo aren't developing players for the full first team. In fact, they may not even want to do that, as far as we know. It may be just about having a two-team, putting kids from the academy there, but more importantly, putting players from South America there, and then allowing them to kind of nurture their way into the club and then get moved up to the first team, much like Mikael, much like Felipe Andrade. So the Dynamo may not even really be in the game of trying to produce Houston players. I'm not saying the whole team has to be Houston players. We have a history of developing soccer players for Major League Soccer, a lot of them. The part that bothers me a lot is this whole PR move of, look at all our academy players playing, look at all our youth national team players, look at the pathway to the pros, and we're patting ourselves on the back. But nobody gets through to the first team in a real role of responsibility. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going to get Brazilian players. But for me, you are not community, as you claim, if you are not using some local players. Now, a lot of people out there, and I think you're going to agree with this, Thomas, you're going to say you don't really care because you just want to win. I care because the stadium's half empty all the time. I care because they count little against the salary cap. I care because I want to see Houston kids that love the game achieve and go places. So really, that's kind of my Cliff Notes version of it. It can go deeper, but I think there is a little bit of false advertising going on. Thomas, you're up.
I don't think I would argue that. I think the way the club tailors it makes it seem like, yeah, they're doing this to make it more about the community. You're right about that 100%. I think the reason the stadium is empty is because they're not winning. I think winning cures all. I think if you look across the landscape, there's not going to be a ton of homegrown talent on winners. You go look at Miami. You go look at the Galaxy. You go look at LAFC. They're venturing out to get these players. Now, I think it's awesome.
Well, we're not LAFC. We know that.
A young.
We're not LAFC.
Oh, 100%.
And by the way, all you need is one, from a marketing standpoint, to then show the rest of the kids in the academy that there is possibility. They don't see that now. They don't see that. And by the way, I'm going to call your all you got to do is win take incredibly naive, Thomas. Because if you saw in 2023, it didn't change much with Hector Herrera. It didn't change much the following year. In fact, the data proved that out. It didn't change much in 2018 with Elise and Kyoto running like runaway trains. The attendance never changed. Attendance, yes, you have to win, but you have to score goals and play an attractive style of soccer. In addition, to have people with a vision in the front office and a big marketing arm. There's not enough marketing and promotion. Nobody knows who these Brazilian players are because they haven't been star-built. Now, I hope they are this year. I don't think they can speak English. I don't know. But somehow you have to be able to do more than just win, because just winning doesn't get it done. Okay, ball's back in your court.
I definitely think that you're right. That it's not just it has to be more than just winning, but I think it has to be consistent winning. The years you mentioned, they're really flash in the pan type stuff.
Correct.
Where it's like, yeah, they were great for a moment, but it wasn't sustained. And if you look at teams like, and for me, I'm all the way across the board with all of my Houston teams. Mm-hmm. So if you go back and you look at the Astros, when they weren't winning, people didn't come into the building. And now this dynasty you're getting people in the building. Yeah. I think the Texans, when they weren't winning, people weren't in the building. So if you build a winner that's sustained, you get people in the building. If you light it up for 1 year and then you go away, well, for me, I'm a season ticket holder. So
can I jump back in for a second, Thomas? Could I jump back in? And I'm glad you mentioned you're a season ticket holder. This is a great conversation, by the way, and this is good radio. Let me just say this. Even bad teams in MLS, and I'm not saying I like the 2018 team. That was fun. And I love the 2023 team. And I will say that performance by Hector Herrera in that season was as good as any Dynamo player in history when it came to carrying a team, running a team, and organizing a team. But I will just say this. You have to score goals, and you also have to play an entertaining brand of soccer. But in this league, you have to have entertainment for people to come to the games. And if you're going to pass the ball back and forth and, at the end of the day, your center backs have had the ball more than your skilled players, that's not going to do it. So we're not in the community. We're not in the greatest of relationships with the youth community. There's so many things going on. Do you want to hang on and come back and continue the conversation, Thomas?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, stick with us. Let us get through a break, and then we'll start off with you can respond to what I just said, okay? All right, let's take a break. By the way, slip sliders down on bins. It's going to be right in the path of all the soccer fans going out to, it's still Energy Stadium. Until they change it and the World Cup starts, I'm calling it Energy Stadium. They've got all kinds of sliders down there. They got beef. The Shrimp Shack is my favorite. Backyard Burger, Swiss Miss. It is slip sliders down on bins. Get down there. These are, honestly, best sliders you're going to find in Houston. Slip sliders. Bins in the Museum District near Herman Park. We're going to come back with more from Thomas in a second.